Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building. We just can't have nice things. It's
the best show for Chicago sports.
Do not let those glasses fool you. This is not a victory Monday.
No, these
the
aren't
Chicago
victory
Bears
glasses.
take a heartbreaking loss to the Green Bay Packers. One that I'm sure we'll talk about for a while. But that does not mean that it was gloom and doom and the end of the world and that all was bad. So, you're going to get the best of both worlds on this show. We are going to talk about how Matt Eberflus' lack of aggression is a possible reason that the Bears end up losing this game at the end of it. Got to break down and get your thoughts. Also give our thoughts on, do we think Flus needs to do more? I think we all think Flus needs to do more. But also, you got to talk about Thomas Brown's first game in action. Take a look at what this offense actually looked like and see if Caleb Williams can keep this sustainable. The date is 11/18/2024. It's 6:34 in the goddamn morning. And JC, we had it. We had it. Hey, hey, hey. We be losing all the time, though. Big vibes, big vibes. I just want to win a game.
Just one.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. Leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do, man. Go ahead and
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push a button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Push the goddamn button, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. Leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Jordan JC in the building. It's your boy Pat the Designer. This is still one that stings.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna act like this isn't a game that the Chicago Bears losing, that it doesn't hurt, right? Anytime you lose to the Packers, especially seeing as how the Bears set a new record of losing 11 straight games. I think that's even worse. You felt like they were going to get out of it with a win, but that's been the theme of the Chicago Bears this entire time. That's been the theme of the Chicago Bears this entire season. You felt like they had it, and then there was something that backfired at the end of the game that, I mean, is just a gut punch to you if you are a Chicago Bears fan. So I think this is a good place to start, right? The conversation around Matt Eberflus is one that has kind of been the most prevalent. And I put it in the thumbnail. I mean, listen, Matt Eberflus at this point to me is blocking the Bears. I mean, they're not to say that I think that everything falls on his shoulders. I think you made the decision that most teams make in this game. And what I mean by that is Flus, instead of going for it on an extra play, instead of being aggressive, he ends up trying to go for a 46-yard field goal, very makeable field goal in this NFL. Everyone's talking about Cairo Santos' trajectory is lower than normal. That's Kairos' normal trajectory. He said, I would have kicked it the same way from 42. I mean, I don't know how to tell you this. Cairo don't have a lot of leg, but I like him, right? He's accurate, but he ain't booming it from 59 on a weekly basis. But that lack of aggression feels like it causes you the loss of that game. That lack of or making a decision that I think most teams have made, most coaches have made, Matt LaFleur has made this season, making decisions to let that clock run down. You see now there's something that people can blame, and so they're going to blame it. But I've seen coaches make that decision. I don't have a problem with that specific decision. What I do think the Bears are falling into, and what I do think is happening, is there's a culture built here that bad teams have. There's a culture built here that bad football teams fall into, which is good enough is good enough. The one thing that I can always say about those other teams that I can't say about Matt Eberflus is those other teams do have moments where they strive for more. Those other teams do have moments where they're more aggressive in the final moments. Those other teams do have the moments where they sit there and say, no, we're going after it. We're going to punch you in the mouth. We want to be the ones that are dominant in this moment. The Bears don't have that under Matt Eberflus. And I think because of that, you fall into this thing where, listen, bad teams find ways to lose, right? We talk about this all the time in the NFL. The Chicago Bears are a bad football team. They're a terrible football team. I don't think they're what we had last season. I don't think they're what we had 2 seasons ago, but their culture of bad is still there, and it takes a lot to break that culture of bad. It takes change usually to break that culture of bad. And so because of that, do I think that specifically Matt Eberflus's lack of aggression in this game cost you the game? No, I think it's probably more the fact that Matt Pryor gets his butt moved out of the way. And I mean, listen, does the leverage call exist? There were so many penalties that could have been thrown on that last field.
Thank you. Yep.
There was a lot of penalties could have been thrown on that last field goal. I get not calling them, but
Do your job.
I was looking for leverage. I was like, can't you not make contact with the head and neck area of the long snapper?
No, not when it's down.
You know what I mean? I was like, there's a lot of stuff happening, but I understand not calling it last second, blah, blah, blah. But I just feel like the continued lack of aggression, the fact that the Bears are never aggressive in these moments, the fact that this is the culture that the team had more so leads to the loss than that specific call.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, and you can sit there and say, you know what, the refs gave the Packers the game. We can sit here and make excuses all day long and say that, oh yeah, you know, using leverage to jump up to the block. They did the same thing with Javon Dexter against the Cardinals. You know, they called that against us, hitting the long snapper while his head is down. Sure, we can use all of those excuses. But again, I go back to the main problem. Eberflus was conservative when it mattered the most. In my opinion, that is why you lose. You have to have faith in your team to at least get a few more yards. When you have time on the clock to make more football decisions and not just say, you know what, let's play it safe, which is what you admitted to in the press conference, by the way, by saying, you know what, we felt we were where we needed to be. Yeah, I didn't want to, risk a fumble. That's a coach that is playing to lose, not playing to lose rather than playing to win. You played as a coward. You decided to end that game as a coward. You had a quarterback that had an epic drive after being sacked twice, by the way, on the first and second down. And him and his rookie wide receiver connection drove you down the field. And then you you took the ball out of his hand and said, you know what, that's enough. Let's give it to our kicker that has a low trajectory on his kick. And lean on that. Now, I'm not saying I didn't believe in Cairo Santos making that kick. I did. He had a 53-yarder that was low earlier in the game.
Yeah.
I understand he had the leg for it. But at the same time, the Green Bay Packers also stated that they saw something on film when it came to that. And so, yes, even if the penalties weren't called, you still should have put your team in a position where, hey, we're going for it. I'm going for the win. Let's go for the touchdown. Let's not go for the kick. Let's try to win this outright. And you didn't do that. And we've seen that a number of times. Bad decisions leading to losses.
Yeah.
You saw that in the Washington game. The play before the Hail Mary. Giving up those free 15 yards. Where the team themselves couldn't believe that they did that. Oh, you just giving us the free 15 yards? Kevin Byard said they should have had a better defense. Now it trickles over into here where you have, I believe it was Kalen Kaller, a senior NFL writer who said that there were several players on the Packers field goal block, said that they noticed that, Cairo kicks with a low trajectory when doing film, and they expected the Bears to run another play. And so when they didn't, they were surprised. That's very telling.
Yeah.
That
felt more like a troll. I'm not going to lie. That felt like a troll. That one felt like a Bears Packers troll. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I said there, because I was like, if that's the case, why didn't you block the 53-yarder?
I agree. I agree.
What I mean? Like that one felt like more of a troll. He kicks it low. It's like, then why didn't you block the other one?
Everybody did their assignment on the first one, I guess. Matt Pryor goofed up on I don't know. You know what? Regardless of the excuses, the only finger I'm pointing at for this game is Matt Eberflus. You coach scared. Yeah. You had an OC, which, by the way, did a phenomenal job from the first to second to third to fourth quarter. You had a quarterback and an offense that looked like it was fluid throughout the entire game. I said it during our live. I don't think that there was ever a moment where it was that much of a lull going through the quarters. We finally scored some sort of points in the first quarter. We took the lead going into the half. We had the ball, humming going into the third quarter. Like, there were so many positives, and that's why I'm positive. That's why you see these glasses. These aren't victory glasses. I understand I usually wear them when we win, but I think this is a win for the future because not only did you see Caleb improve, you saw an OC that knew what he was doing and that the team is behind, but you also saw a coach that needs to get out of here. That's why I'm happy today. I'm looking at this glass half full because for the future, the coach should have been fired three weeks ago. I still don't understand why he's
it's a victory in Flus getting fired.
Yes, absolutely. This is a victory for the future. This is a victory for all of our mental. I don't want Flus's resume to look any better. I don't want him having a win versus the Packers because Lord knows the McCaskies is going to overlook everything else and say, "Oh, he beat the Packers. Yeah. Oh, let's retain him for 6 years."
Yeah. What's crazy is, and this is, you're not wrong. That's what's wild about it. You're not wrong. It really is hey, listen, if you go out there and you beat the Packers and you show that you have fight and you show that you figured it out, and it really will be, hey, bring this guy back versus the Packers. You're not wrong in that assessment. And I think that's what's concerning. It's not funny because we're all in turmoil here, but I think that's what's kind of concerning about who this Bears team is, right? That's to me where you look at this organization and the fact that Matt Eberflus realistically is the one kind of holding you back, the fact that he's just good enough to get you beat on a consistent basis. I mean, this ain't new, JC. Yeah. This isn't different. This is why'd you lose the Denver game? Too conservative in the second half. Why'd you lose the Detroit game? You threw one pass the entire second half. Why'd you lose the Cleveland game? You went into a shell defense and took your foot off the gas after scoring 17 points, right? You like 17. Yep. We got it. Here we go. Why'd you lose the Colts game? That's more actually dumb play calling, and I guess I'll put that more on Shane Waldron. So I'll take that one out of there. But still bad coaching. It's consistently the same thing. I mean, even the thought in the Washington game, right? I don't know if you can call it conservative, maybe just stupid, but the fact that you thought that it was okay to hand the football off to a center, you know what I mean? It's those moments being allowed. It's those moments that makes the difference in you being the Chicago Bears and you being the Green Bay Packers. And yeah, I said it. You listen, there's turmoil over there in Green Bay. Mm-hmm. Green Bay has gone through worse than you've gone through, and they're 7-2 right now. They've lost their starting quarterback. They've won every game that they haven't had their starting quarterback out there. They're switching their defense from a 3-4 to a 4-3, which is the main reason why you saw they couldn't get any pressure on the quarterback yesterday because they're still trying to figure out the pass rush. They lose Jair Alexander yesterday. Like there's a bunch of things that they're dealing with, but the difference in the game is Matt LaFleur is the guy that holds it all together. You don't have that guy.
No,
you don't have that guy. And I am one that is in the minority that feels, I don't know if I'm in the minority. I think it was pretty evenly split yesterday at ESPN. They're like, it's okay that you go for a 47-yard field goal. You know what? You probably should have a kicker that can make 47-yard field goals. You probably should have a guy standing in front of your kicker who, Matt Pryor, one of your starting offensive linemen, you would think he could block. You probably should have a guy in the front who can make a block to keep those guys out of the middle. Maybe there's some flags that should have been called, but listen, if I'm a lose, I'm gonna go for it as well. But to me, like they're just, The Bears are who their coach is, and the Packers are who their coach is. Their coach is a guy that when the odds are against them, they find a way to win the game.
Yeah.
The Bears coach is a guy who, when the odds are against him, he will find a way, even if he's up in the game, to lose that game. I mean, are you telling me we lost because of a 60-yard pass that Jalen Johnson falls down on?
Yeah.
Literally the best coverage DB in the NFL, he slips. You're telling me that's what put them in a position to win this game? That's something deeper than, and I really do believe this. Like, you exude the energy that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this team has the energy of Flus on them, no matter what they do, no matter how they try to get away from it, no matter how they try to turn away or try to be better than it. That energy of Flus will always bring you back down.
Take the S off the last name. That's exactly what this team is. They have the flu.
They got the flu.
They got the flu.
They got that flusy flu.
They got the flusy flu. And they can't get away from it. Flus are very hard to shake. And I love this. Well, I'll let you read the super chat first. I was going to go.
Oh yeah, Paul Galore with the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you, Paul. Said I can't stand Flus, but not running another play. I get because football can be fluky, and it was a 46-yarder. That's much a guarantee. Yeah, listen, it's a guarantee.
Sure.
For every other team in the NFL.
Yeah, if we're the Bears.
And I literally kept saying that yesterday. And that's my thing. And I don't think, here's the thing, like Black Diamond said, that's a loser's mentality. I don't think so. It's a winning play. For every team in the league that wins, the Chiefs have run that play.
They are the Chiefs.
The Bengals, who what a game last night, have run that play. The Chargers last night, very aggressive, have gone the other way. The Broncos this season have run that play. Like, there are teams that go, we need a game-winning field goal right here. We don't know. We don't want to chance it. Let's go for it. And they make it. You know who can't do that? The Chicago Bears under Matt Eberflus.
Your very own Bears. Yeah. It just always looks different.
Guess
what?
It
always looks different.
Everybody's favorite coach, who literally got us the number 1 overall pick, Lovie Smith, did this all the time and made it all the time.
Had a better kicker. Yeah.
I mean, definitely had a better kicker. Robbie Gold, best kicker in our, well, Butthead's probably still the best kicker in our history. Butthead's probably still the best kicker. But most accurate kicker in Bears history, I should say. But even so, it's just like this play is not, it's not astronomical. I think Bears fans are looking for something to blame, and this is the easy play to blame, but this goes deeper than this play. It just does. This is a play teams run all the time. This is a play that teams do. Nope, we're not going to chance it. Run the clock down, kick the field goal. We're in. Like, it just is. But because of who, I fully believe this, because of who your coach is, you don't get the luxury of being that way.
Yeah. And sure, it's easy to sit here and point blame at Eberflus. I mean, everybody and their mom is saying, hey, this guy should have been gone. I've been preaching and screaming for his letting go of this team for the last month. I've been saying that. So yeah, it's very easy to say, oh, you're the guy. And to an extent, I still believe that. But yes, you have other teams that do go for it. But I'm just sitting here and saying, man, with the way that we played so far and the result of other games that have shown us playing so scared and not making these sound and right decisions in those clutch moments, you have 30 some odd seconds left in the game. You have a quarterback who is on a heater right now. You can tell that the momentum is on our side. We're driving down the field. He's picking up chunk yards after chunk yards. And you settle. To me, that just states, again, like you said, a coach is a mirror of his team. Or rather, the players are a mirror of their coach. And so when you have a coach that consistently says, okay, well, we're going to do it this way, and it doesn't work out, you don't have the luxury, in my opinion, to always say, well, we'll just go for what all the other teams are successful at, the obvious field goal. You need to move closer so it can be more obvious. 46 yards, sure. You can say that's a chip in for most, but for Cairo Santos, no.
It's a long field goal.
That's a long field goal.
That's
That's like 55 yards for him. That's a long field goal. I'm giving my team and my players, my quarterback, to get us more down the field. I trust him because of what I just saw. In our previous history, in the history of the Chicago Bears, when have you ever seen us get sacked twice, go 3rd and 19, and a rookie quarterback has the confidence and the wherewithal to say, you know what? I'm putting it on my back. I'm driving us down the field still. That was a legendary drive.
Yeah.
We don't usually see that. We all were like, oh, it's over. My mindset was already, it's done. Those 2 sacks took me out of it. I'm like, all right, well, just waiting for this either to be a turnover or turnover on downs, rather. Didn't happen. And so, I appreciate what this tweet is. Mark Krupansky, he mentions Patrick Manley had a great take on the loss yesterday about how the line wasn't coached well. He got specific of the type of blocks that should happen and didn't. It's a failure of coaching, and the head coach is supposed to hold all coaches accountable.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that. Now, I got on Chris Morgan before in the past, but yes, it all still, again, goes and stems back to Eberflus. You got to get your guys disciplined. You got to get your guys in a position where everybody knows what their assignment is. Sure, there's leaks there's cracks sometimes, but we've had too many of those. And that's why, again, I have no problem pointing the finger at Matt, because from my opinion, I think everything else went well during that game. You can't blame Thomas Brown for incompetent play calling. You can't blame the offense. They drove down the field numerous times to put us in a position to win throughout the game. You can't blame the defense, in my opinion, because all they did was give up 20 points. We've been seeing that throughout this tenure. So it falls on you for those moments where it's like, okay, are you coming up short in your confidence in this team? You're taking the ball out of the signal call, out of the play caller in Caleb. That's why I'm blaming Matt Eberflus. He's blocking the Bears.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do agree with that. I think the lack of aggression is a deeper problem. I think it goes all the way up to, I think this is just the mindset of your franchise, which is concerning. When you hear the Brad Biggs report, by the way, 368 in the building, 49 likes on the video. What the heck is going on in here? How about we take a second? Everybody breathe real quick.
I'm gonna give you a second
to do it. I'm gonna give you a second to do it. Hit that like button. Y'all know that helps us, right?
Come on now.
Jesus. 49, 46 likes, brother.
Come on.
We got beef.
Those are Eberflus
Y'all
numbers.
mad at us? Yeah, right. Y'all giving us Flus numbers. I thought y'all was better than that. Y'all giving us Flus numbers. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about the heart in the chat. I'm talking about the like button. Hit that mother. No, I'm just playing. That got Muzz to hit it. He giving us Flus numbers. No, we ain't never giving you Flus. Flus, baby. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to you. I think it comes down to organizational problems. You know what I mean? Listen, when I hear the report from Brad Biggs that not only that Matt Eberflus is believed to have 5 years on his contract.
Oh boy.
So that would mean Flus has 2 years left. But that also the was it Mark Schneider report from The Athletic? Schneidman report from The Athletic that the Bears want a strong front office.
Oh, is that right?
That basically is the one dictating how things go. That means that you want good enough. And I keep pointing back to everybody. I know, right? Nobody wants to say it in the mainstream media because we can't confirm whether it happened or not. Nobody wants to say Matt Eberflus didn't pick his staff. Nobody wants to say that the front office picked their staff. But let's be real. He's coached with none of the coaches on his staff. When have you ever seen that? The mindset is good enough. Matt Eberflus is okay with us picking his staff. That's good enough. Matt Eberflus, when he's on the field, we can go for a 46-yard field goal. That's good enough. We did enough. That to me, I think it goes all the way up. I listen, like when the fact that there's nobody holding Ryan Poles' feet to the fire, maybe they are. I'm not going to say nobody, but the fact that it feels like there's nobody holding Ryan Poles' feet to the fire for the fact that he didn't get a single offensive lineman that's going to help Caleb Williams in the slightest. That's good enough. He'll figure it out. We got him. It's good enough. The fact that you went with Shane Waldron over Thomas Brown.
How is that not obvious?
But again, JC, it's obvious if I've stood on a field next to you and watched you coach. It's obvious if I've been in the same locker room with you and seen how you interact with the players. It's obvious if I've worked with you and I've seen this guy's got communication issues. It's obvious when I picked my staff. It's not obvious when Ryan Poles picks the staff. And you got to kind of figure out how to work together. And you got to figure out how to make things happen. And you're halfway through training camp going, wait a minute, this dude, what? What'd you just say? Did you just say we got to work on the operation? We'll figure it out Sunday? That's when it's obvious. When I've done this with you before. But right now, at least when I look at this Bears organization, y'all let me know. I don't see that organization is serious about winning.
No.
I don't see an organization that wants more.
Everything is tiptoe. Everything is tiptoe. And like you mentioned it, the worst part of it is the top of the organization, they want to stay the strongest unit. They want to be the ones that are in control of everything and make the final say. They don't want, and I dated all the way to back when we had Mike Ditka. I read an article that said they probably were so tired of the way Ditka handled himself here that they didn't want a stronger coach ever after that.
Yeah.
You know what Ditka did? Got us a Super Bowl.
It won.
We keep talking about 85 like it just happened. That's all we can lean on every single doggone time. We keep talking about the shuffle. I'm so sick and tired of talking about the shuffle. I'm tired of talking about 85 and sweetness. I love those guys. That should be part of our history. We should be creating new history. We should be creating a new culture.
Yeah.
You're scared to bring somebody with a voice and a better resume into the building. We've talked about candidates like Vrabel. We talked about a team like you just mentioned that had the cojones to go for it, and look at what happened with the Chargers. They're led by Harbaugh. And then I went back to a video that showed when they interviewed Eberflus and Poles together, saying, "Did you even reach out to Harbaugh?" No, we didn't reach out to Harbaugh. We felt real confident about Matt. We're going with Matt.
He was sitting right next to him.
Hey, I understand that.
With him right next to him.
You know what? And I get that. You don't want to drag him in the mud. You won't say, "Yeah, we talked."
That would have been wild. You sitting next to your current girlfriend talking about, "Yeah, I called her."
Hey, that's very true. But my goodness, boy, if it to me, that just states to me a bigger problem of not having the confidence to at least go out and look for better.
Yeah.
Or at least admit that you're trying to get better. You have a certain standard that is not up to par with the rest of the league. And it shows itself in certain ways. Again, when you hold your badge of honor to the world and say, we don't fire people in the middle of the season, that's horrible. When I see a report from Adam Rank saying that possibly Matt Eberflus has immunity throughout the season and that he may not get fired, do you know how concerning that is when you have the worst career record as a head coach for a Bears head coach? Like, yeah. What are we doing here? You're okay with that? Not even okay with good enough. That's below good enough. You've set the bar at a very low level where I can jump right over that boy without a vertical. You set the bar that low for the organization and for the fans to just be okay with constantly being punched in the face.
Yeah.
Because the product that you put out there that's leading the team. It's constantly bad. And we wonder, oh, well, why is it not working? Because we got all these talented players. You got all these great wide receivers. You got a top 10 tight end. You got a great shifty running back. You got a number one, quote unquote, generational quarterback. I know you was going to say something about great. You got all these pieces. You got a really, really good defense. You got a great punter in Torrey Taylor.
Oh, you son of
But you put that all together, and it still doesn't come together. You know why? Because the standard has not changed. You haven't addressed the most important issues. You haven't addressed the protection, and you don't want a guy that comes in and holds people accountable from the start. And that's when you see the cracks in the team. That's when you see the cracks in the organization. That's why we call this team, this organization, a mom and pop shop. Because everybody wants to be nice and, oh, this is how we run things here. We're a charter franchise. I've said it before, act like a big boy franchise.
Yeah. The badges of honor have run out in almost everyone's book. Hey, man, we're going to keep this thing moving along. I will say this. I think there were some positives from yesterday. Let us know your thoughts on Flus's lack of aggression in the comments below, the organization's lack of aggression in the comments below. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We're going to take a quick break. Let's do a word from our sponsors and then come back on the other side. And I mean, listen, a conversation around this Chicago Bears team that, dare I say, I didn't expect us to be having, but did they find a little offensive competency with Thomas Brown at the helm? We'll talk about that and more coming up next. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Welcome back. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. We needed some Aura music just to calm us down. You know what I mean? Just to bring the vibes back. Need that Aura music just to soothe everything out. By the way, we got to go through something here real quick, JC. We've been so focused on doing our job here that we have neglected the fact that hold on. We are over 100 in the chat, over 200 in the chat, over 300 in the chat, over 400 in the chat. 400. There you go. Shout out to King Booker World joining as a member as well. Appreciate that, my boy. Appreciate you rocking with us, man. Hey, man, if y'all want to join up on the Breeze membership, man, you get special perks, different things like that, special emojis, all that good stuff, man. So tune in, becoming a Breeze super fan. All right, let's keep this thing going.
Yes, sir.
Because it was not all bad yesterday. While there was, of course, the ultimate bad, I do think that I came out of this game feeling more, I don't want to say confident. I feel like confidence is the wrong word. feeling like you found something that you can replicate moving forward for the rest of this season. And that starts with one Thomas Brown. I think that Thomas Brown came out yesterday and he just did simple better. I don't think that, and this is why this excites me, because listen, we've all watched we've all watched, right, when the team gets fired, or when the offensive coordinator gets fired and there's a little bit of a pop, right? When the head coach gets fired and there's a little bit of a pop because all of the players go, we hated this guy. Now we're happy. And when we're happy, we play better, right?
Yeah,
That's very consistent with the league. That's very consistent with football. And so because of that, I think that a lot of times you get in a situation where it's not you can't replicate it. I was going to say replicatable. I don't think that's a word.
Replicatable.
Replicatable. Is that
you say it different? It makes sense.
That one, replicatable. Somebody look that up. That sounds like that has to be a word.
I just got to say it differently.
Replicatable.
I have no idea.
Replicable.
Oh, there it is. I have no idea what I said. I'll be
able
honest.
to be copied or reproduced. Replicable.
Okay,
hey, we learning on this month.
All right. Oh boy.
Or is that
I took a stab in the wind?
Replicable. Oh, it's replicable. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know what you just said.
Hey, Joe said word of the day. Here
Hey,
we
you
go.
ain't lying, dog. I don't know what the heck that was. But a lot of times you can't replicate it because it's more of an energy pop. And that energy does not sustain throughout the rest of the season. That energy does not sustain from game to game. When you get down in a game, you're not able to find that energy, things like that. What we saw yesterday was an offensive coordinator who just did simple better. Who literally was just like, hey, make sure you take that check down.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you take that quick out. Make sure if you don't see it down the field, you're immediately getting your eyes back down. Make sure that if it's not there, you're not chained in the pocket, sitting there patting the football for 5 seconds, causing a holding call. Take off. Use those legs. Scamper. He's more of a scamperer than a runner.
He did scamper.
It's kind of a
like something's on fire.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields was running. Yeah. Caleb Williams kind of scampers a little bit. It's a little, but just doing those simple things throughout the game gave you the confidence to go out and make the plays you needed to make at the end of the game. And I think that is something that you can continue to do. That is something that is replicable. That's not a word I've used a lot. I'm not going to lie to you.
Put that in there.
I'm not going to lie to you. You're like, replicable. Yeah, I would assume it's like that.
It's definitely replicable, but I love the fact.
Here's the wild part. I know I've heard this word before, and I'm literally just like, why does this sound foreign? Why have I never said this in my life?
It's like only 5 times we've used it in a sentence ever. No, man, I'm right there with you, man. Thomas Brown definitely, going into this game, going up against especially Green Bay, it was a lot of pressure. A lot of people felt like, okay, even though the team is behind you, you're hearing all these right things. Everybody's saying, oh yeah, this is a guy that, his voice, it resonates in the locker room. He's very direct. He's aggressive. He means what he says. He gives attention to the details. We love him. We backing him. You still wanted to see, okay, how does it look on the field? Is this going to look any better than the last 3 games? Or are we just kind of just kumbaya in this and it still sucks? No, Thomas Brown came out and showed you exactly what simple looks like when it's done better. I mean, you had a dominant run game. I want to say 29 or 28 carries for 165 total yards. The ball was out very quickly. I believe Caleb Williams had his quickest throwing the ball away or throwing the ball to receivers this season. I believe it was under 2 seconds, I read somewhere. So, you're talking about him adjusting to the fact that not only did he have good protection, but the fact that, hey, even though your protection isn't always the greatest, you get it out quicker. So that means that you're creating quicker routes, quicker plays, a lot of pre-snap motion to get the defense off balance as well. And a lot of easy completions for Caleb, which gets you his confidence up, which gets you to continue to make the plays down the field, the check downs. We saw all of those things. We saw the screen plays, my goodness, work over and over again because you utilize the right players and use the right personnel. Braxton Jones is knocking people over. I mean, thank goodness they did it and it looked the right way.
Yeah, they got him back, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. But it was just good to see. It was refreshing to see. Now the thing is, okay, now we're coming off of a high of how good the OC looked in this game. Yes, we lost, but can he replicate it? Can he match that same energy and match that same game plan going forward? That's what I want to see. Yes, we're on a high because, as you said, everybody's going to be playing their hardest for the new guy, and it's a new feeling. It's something different. Yes, Shane's out, the new guy's in. Now let's see if going forward he can be competent again. He can do simple better and more and more and more until the end of the season. Now we're talking about, hey, do you retain him as OC? Do you even bump him up to HC, as I've even said before in a dream scenario? Keep things consistent. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's and I'm not. I see that rhetoric already going around. It's like, can we get 2 games of this before we make him an offensive coordinator, or make him the head coach of the team. Yeah, but I do think that you have to have the conversation on the fact that to me, going into next week, it doesn't feel like that was a one-time thing. It doesn't feel like, and a lot of times it does, right? Like, even I give credit to what just happened with the Saints, being able to get their second win in that situation, because a lot of times you don't see that. A lot of times you don't see the guy be able to come back and get another win. A lot of times you don't see the guy be able to come back and keep that energy in the team, right? Like, it doesn't happen that way. And it's usually because you don't have a good enough system. You don't have a good enough, your talent on the team isn't at that level.
Right.
This to me was just like, no, we've always had the talent. We've always had the ability to do this. We've always had the ability to go out there and make plays. We've always had the ability to go out there and get the ball to our playmakers. We just didn't. You can't tell me that it's magic that from one game to the next, you go from versus a better defense, by the way, versus the best defense you played this season. You
Agreed.
go from getting the football. And let me double check this versus New England. You go from getting the football to Keenan Allen 5 times for 44 yards, DJ Moore 3 times for 24 yards, Rome Odunze 3 times for 23 yards, to then getting the football to your receivers, DJ Moore 7 times for 62 yards, Rome Odunze 6 times for 65 yards, Keenan Allen 4 times for 41 yards, Cole Kmet 3 times for 42 yards.
Yeah, well-rounded. Yeah.
That's something where, and you look at how he got it to him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, you look at how he got on the ball. It was literally just, there were times where it's the deep pass. There were times where it's the beautiful pass that he gets over to Keenan Allen at the end of the game. But for the most part, it was very simple passes.
Yeah.
It was very simple plays. Heck, DeAndre Swift getting involved. I mean, listen, the one run makes it look very big. Like, I'm not.
We had a couple good ones. You give him his respect now.
14 to 71, 5.1 yard average. I was upset all day at this point.
I agree. He did have a mediocre day before that run.
Yeah, Swift. I watched that game. You were 8 carries for 13 yards, 1.6 yards per carry. You can't fool me. Hey, man, get out of here. I'm sick of it.
Pat wants every running back to average 8 yards per carry. Otherwise, you won't get $3 million.
4? You get paid $8 million. I can't get 4 out of you. Come on, dog. Give me 3-5 at least. 3-5. If I give you the ball 3 times, that means that's a first down.
Hey,
Give me
that's why
3
they
points.
always say you got to give running backs more carries, man. They got to get lathered up. They got to get into the game, man.
This man had carries. Yeah, he had 14. That's not a lot of carries. He had 14 carries. Roshan had 10. Good split. 14 carries for him. Roshan had 10. I thought that was a good split. I love the way, even that though, I love the way that he implemented using Roshan Johnson. I love the way that he was, there were times where it's like, Roshan, this is your drive. DeAndre Swift needs a blow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing a lot here. We trying to figure some things out. He just had a big run, big catch, whatever it is. Hey, this is your drive here. You go out here, you handle it. And Roshan was able to handle it. Even things like that.
Yeah.
To me, that is just doing it simple. You have 2 running backs for a reason. Utilize them.
Use them. Yep, exactly.
Paul, the super chat, he said, I saw improvement, but it's crazy that we still have a hard time getting touchdowns, especially Caleb throwing.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Caleb Williams said this yesterday on the radio, so I would say a chunk of people probably didn't hear it because more people are watching on the TV side. But he talked about this in his interview with Jason McKee after the game, and what he said was, J-Mac asked him, what have you learned now 10 games into the NFL? And he said, the possessions are important. And I think that's something that you didn't have early on. And also, I think Thomas Brown shows up day one, and this dude's like, all of a sudden, it's like Caleb gets NFL football. But he said the possessions are important, and you don't get nearly as many. The Bears only had 7 drives in this whole game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me make sure I'm not wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, no, wait, I'm tweaking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bears had 7 possessions this whole game.
Yeah, I know they ran 68 plays. I do know that much. So 7 drives. You got to
7
utilize
drives,
all of them.
You scored on 3 of them. 4 of them? Scored on 4 of them.
Yeah, so you had the field goal, then you had the touchdown.
The two rushing touchdowns. You had a field goal, 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
But like you didn't have a ton of bites at the apple in this one.
Yeah.
You just didn't. Because the Packers had long drives as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you look through this, Packers' first drive was elapsed. Jesus Christ, is this facts? Or is it, that's the final drive? My bad. Packers' first drive took 3 minutes 45 seconds. Your drive took 7 minutes and 6 seconds. Your next drive took 14 minutes and 53 seconds. Your next drive took 4 minutes and 39 seconds. The Packers' next drive took 8 minutes and 26 seconds. Like there wasn't a lot of time. Like you were going on long drives.
Yeah, no, the Bears,
so
the Bears.
in game situations like that, yeah, maybe Caleb doesn't throw a touchdown, but you're also not trying to sit there and fly down the field and run up the score when you have a brand new offensive coordinator in there.
Yeah, my thing is, what did you see still from him? Yeah, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Still continue to make sure that he didn't lose the game for the team. So at the same time, you could say maybe he was a game manager, but I mean, in those moments where it mattered the most, you saw what he was capable of. Now, it's not his fault that Matt took the ball out of his hands at the end of the game, where maybe he could have thrown a touchdown or went for the end zone.
Yeah,
whatever the case may be. We know that when the Bears eventually or whenever they get in the red zone, they're a very good team. But those opportunities sometimes are few and far between, sometimes from game to game. And so, obviously we would love to see more touchdowns, but I love how Caleb himself puts things into perspective. And you saying that, the possessions matter. That's one thing he's starting to learn. And you look at all up and down the stats for the team. I mean, the Bears dominated a lot of the important stats. They dominated.
It's impressive that they've lost this game. They found a way to lose.
Dude, it was crazy.
This is your culture. If you want to know, let me hit you with this.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears. Let me go team stats here. Chicago Bears dominated time of possession, 36-23. Dominated.
Yep.
36-23. The Chicago Bears technically won. It only goes down as 1-0 because of the interception for the turnover battle. Remember, you got a turnover on downs in the red zone.
Yep. They were moving.
Technically, you won the turnover battle 2-0.
Yeah.
You outgained them 391-366. You lost the game. Which stat there indicated losing the game?
None. There should be a stat said football gods. There's this football god stat that's not in there. It says
And it
that we
literally
like
just
the
says,
other
we
team.
hate you.
We hate you.
Okay. All right. I get it. I understand.
Goodness.
But no, man, like you did literally everything you needed to do to win this game, and you didn't. And that to me comes down to your coaching. That's where I look at your head coach and go, he's probably not the guy.
Yeah.
Jason Robinson with the super chat said, I liked that Brown stuck with Roschon in obvious situations instead of trying to be deceptive when it's not necessary. Oh, there was some deception though. But the deception was, I'm going to either hand this football off to Roschon or Caleb's going to keep it and run to the left. It's a quarterback read, football.
Which actually worked a few times when they needed the yard to gain. But yeah, and even with the smaller yards per carry for Roschon, he did what he needed to do. Like you use him in those moments where you need 1 or 2 yards to keep the chains moving, where you have him in the red zone, and he got that touchdown. He probably got it the first time, if we're being honest, but he definitely got it the second time. So that's what you're looking for. Like you said, a even tandem and a balanced tandem. I love this is another one of my favorite stats: 3rd down efficiency and 4th down efficiency. Two stats that we're horrible at. And by the way, we don't even usually go for 4th on 4th. 3rd down efficiency, this game was 9 for 16. That was amazing.
Yeah.
4th down efficiency, 3 for 3. Every time we needed to get a completion, every time we needed to get the ball down the field, it happened. And that's what you build off of.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. The other thing from this game that I think you got to point out is the play of your young quarterback. And we've kind of talked about it in talking about Thomas Brown, but I mean, listen, the doesn't come away with a touchdown in this, but I'll tell you this: as a Bears fan today, you should not feel like you don't have the quarterback.
Oh, you do.
As a Bears fan, if you're here today, you should feel like Caleb Williams is the answer. And I'll tell you why. It's not just because of this Packers game. I have seen Caleb Williams now in 3 games that, I mean, we can argue in this one. Are we saying coaching cost you this game? Maybe, maybe not. I think that, Matt Pryor getting moved out of the way cost you this game more than Matt Eberflus calling a 46-yard field goal. You should be able to knock that through. But all right, like if you want to say coaching lost this game, fine. But you should come away from today feeling like Caleb Williams is an answer and not a question. And the reason that I say that is your rookie quarterback 3 times this season has led you on drives that should win you games. 2 times this season, your offensive coordinator was a moron. Once with a speed option play at the goal line, and once with handing the football off to Doug Kramer and then doubling down. I fully believe that's the one that got him fired. Like nothing else. I think they were like, did you double down on handing the football off to a center? But handing the football off to Doug Kramer in that situation.
Oh, there goes my job.
Hey, Caleb, tough day at the office. Am I right? They're going to fire my ass. But no, like honestly, like, you have a quarterback that you can definitively say led you down on multiple drives this season in his rookie year to win you the game. All of the other factors withstanding. Matt Eberflus dumb, knew that. Right? Shane Waldron not going to call the right play in that moment, knew that. Throw that out. Offensive line going to false start, knew that. Saw that coming. Braxton Jones going to get pushed right into Caleb Williams' lap, knew that. He loves Santa Claus. Like, there are all these things that I knew already going into this that I saw, and this coming from a guy who said keep Justin Fields, who was a Justin Fields fan, that I saw Justin Fields not be able to overcome. You said it best, JC. When you saw those 2 sacks, you felt like the game was over.
Done. Yep. So used to it.
I agreed with you. And instead, Caleb Williams said, nah, let me show you something. Rolls out right, boom, big throw to Roma Dunze. Not only is your rookie quarterback making plays, but he's throwing it to your rookie wide receiver who's going out there and balling out of his mind, catching the football in tough situations. Boom, the pressure's not too much. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple passes to put you in a good spot. All of a sudden, listen, a quarterback who could not trust Keenan Allen at this point, and nobody would blame him. Lot of drops.
Yeah,
A lot of drops this
a lot
season.
of bobbles. Yeah,
A lot of bobbles this season. Still a little bobbly on that pass. They went and reviewed it. Went and reviewed it. I'm not gonna lie. I think if they don't give that earlier catch to Christian Watson, I think that they might not give that pass to Keenan Allen, but we also probably wouldn't be in the situation. But I mean, you throw that football to Keenan Allen right there. Gutsy throw, good vision, still gets hit, delivers the football. Boom. We're moving down the field. Big throw to Rome. Boom. Big throw to Cole. Boom. All in the moments I needed it most. This young man overcomes the adversity to put his team in a position to win the game. That's a quarterback. And I know a lot of people sat here and they were like, well, of course he did it versus the Jaguars. Of course he did it versus Washington. Of course he did it versus Indy. Their defense sucks. What are you going to say about this one? Because as much as I dislike them Packers ball. Them boys take the football away. By the way, no turnovers in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier McKinney's a guy that takes the football away.
I was going to say, shout out to Xavier McKinney.
Shout out Xavier McKinney. Who won that? I mean, like, if the Bears win this, is DJ Moore beating his chest a little bit? I don't know who won that.
I don't know.
How many times he targeted?
I know DeAndre Swift got him, though.
DeAndre Swift definitely got him. DeAndre Swift hit him with a disgusting touchback.
Knocked him out of his shoes, yeah.
But it's just if you're here today and you're arguing that this young man can't play the quarterback position, you don't have eyes.
Yeah.
And that's just the God honest truth. 23 for 31, 231 yards, still got sacked 3 times. First half, he was 9 for 12 for 85 yards, 94 quarterback rating. Second half, he was 14 for 19 for 146. So he got better in the second half, which is what you want to see. 95.5 quarterback rating.
There you go. You'll take that every game. And be honest with you at this point, and maybe I'm feeling this way because we're on a high as far as his performance, but I mean, I feel like I'm not necessarily worried about the on field. What I'm more confident in going forward, because we talked about the narrative behind Caleb, before the draft and before he eventually officially became a Bear, is the leadership qualities. And how will he be facing the noise? Because Lord knows when you come here and the history of the quarterbacks not amounting to anything, and just how bad this organization has been when it comes to developing quarterbacks and then getting off to bad starts anyway in your career, how is he going to accept all of that when you had him saying that, oh, well, he cried and he missed the press conference when it came to them losing against a college team. Like, all of these things are being shut down constantly. What I'm most impressed by is every single week, win or lose, you see Caleb Williams in front of the media. You see the Caleb Williams, and you're obviously right there because you're asking him those important questions. Yeah. You see him time and time again with the confidence. He doesn't look too down. Even this one, he said, you know what? Hey, got to move forward. He said he talked to, what was it, Riley? His head Lincoln Riley texted him and said, keep going. You got to keep going. I love the positivity. I love the accountability constantly. Even when he probably knew, hey, I wanted the ball in my hands for that last drive. I was on the heater. I wish I had a few more chances at the apple to get us in the end zone. He said, hey, I'm backing up my kicker. I believe in my kicker. That's a leader. That's a leader. Yeah. He accepts when he does wrong, but he also accepts when, hey, this is my team. I'm standing behind my team. And I love the positive attitude going forward. We just got to continue to build off this. That's what you wanted to see. That's what I was afraid of that wasn't part of his makeup. And you're seeing that week after week after week. And so going forward, that's the confidence that I have in him. Just as a leader, just as a leader of men, is you're buying, the team is already, in my opinion, has bought into him. You're seeing them buy into this guy. officially already. And so that's what I lean on is going forward. You have a winning quarterback. You have a winner mindset in this guy. All of these losses, these tragic losses, this organization and the mediocrity from the top of the chain downward, it's not getting to him to the point where he's losing his own self-confidence.
And listen, with all the turmoil going on out in New York, maybe there'll be a Brian Daboll on the market. I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if you saw this. AC. Giants are benching quarterback Daniel Jones and officially moving on from their starter.
Shout out to Ringo.
Tommy DeVito will be starting. Oh no, I would love Brian Daboll, bro.
You would, okay.
Bro? That's a coach where you can fully see. Nah, his quarterback holding him back.
Okay, all right. I guess because I am connecting it to the Giants, just how bad they are.
Bro, that's a coach you can fully see. Be like, man, if he had a quarterback, he would win a lot. Like I ain't never seen. Hey, you should want to get out of there, my boy, and we got a job for you. Come on over here. How about this? We got some coordinators already selected for you. Could have hired Brian. All
right, could have had Brian.
Could have hired
a lot of people.
Could have had a lot of people, but dang it, we got flus.
The flu is still here.
I'm not happy. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Bears lose to the Packers. We're going to be talking about this all week, of course. Eventually, we'll turn the page and take a look at those
Please, let's turn the page.
Yeah. Listen, hey, Engage 8 is coming, dog. I'm not going to lie. We know what the game plan is.
What was that, Flores?
No, Flores is coming in. He's going to be, hey, you're going to blitz all night. I don't want them to gain another yard.
Oh, yeah. Thomas Brown, what you got for us?
Oh, man. But appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. For Mr. Medium Self, Jordan JC, it's your boy Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. One love.
You.
We just never can beat the Packers. It's a curse at this point. Peace.
11 in a row. Ringo's fine with Darius, by the way.
Ringo is fine. He was supposed to come yesterday. I don't know what happened to Ringo. Ringo just he'd be like, I'll be there, and then don't show up now. I don't know what's going on. He got to be careful.
Yeah, you don't want to catch the flu like everybody else is caught. The flus.